Welcome to Partnerships for Profit, the podcast where we bring you inside the world of joint ventures, strategic partnerships, and powerful collaborations. Whether you're looking to expand your network, find new referral partners, or scale your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started.
Welcome back to Partnership for Profits. I'm back for the second time today. We got a killer guest this afternoon who's doing some really cool stuff. We have our guest here, David Ellis, who is the co-founder and CEO of Neato. David's at the forefront of a major shift in how humans think, connect, and collaborate. David, I know you're in the middle of a conference out in Arizona, so I really appreciate you giving me some time this afternoon, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on. It's great to be here.
Absolutely. So before we get into Neato and the future of collaboration, I want to start with your background. Can you tell me kind of what experiences you've had that led you to kind of focus your career on the idea of collective intelligence?
Yeah, I came out of my last industry was in the communication space, doing audio video estates, collaboration rooms, and managing large phone systems for the Global 1000. And exited that a few years ago, and it was right when AI was kind of starting to emerge, and I started to have this idea, like, what would happen if we could take the current communication technology, contact centers, call centers, and actually replace the humans or supplement the humans with AI, and what would that look like? And so that started us down a path of how you would accomplish that and how you would make the experience. At first, the goal was to make it human-like. And then the experience, actually, we started to think about, well, what if we could make it better than human? And that doesn't mean you replace the image; it just means it's different. And so that's what our thesis was.
Cool. And how long? When did you guys start the company?
We've been in research for about 4 years. The company officially started 3 years ago.
Okay. And you're working in the legal field, and where else are you guys? Where else are you guys connecting Neato to? What other industries?
Yeah, we're in legal, mortgage, home services, some finance, insurance, just really anywhere where conversations need to happen, where we can take the load off of the humans, offload it to AI, and in a lot of cases just do a better job with the part that we do. But yeah, legal's been a ton of fun for us. We're seeing a lot of adoption in the intake space, reception space, and then some exciting products moving further down market into case management and things like that.
Awesome. Love that. That's right in line with our audience. They're going to want to hear about this stuff for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about collaboration and what it used to be and what it's moving towards. I think I read that you said that the way we collaborate hasn't evolved as fast as the world is evolving around us. What do you think is broken about how teams currently work together?
I think that teams work together well. I mean, during COVID, it was really interesting to see the world move to video collaboration, and I was a part of that move, helping companies go from on-premise to remote. And I think we got used to not being in the room with each other and talking over video and doing that. And then I think there's this natural evolution. I think of the next step is, well, what if we bring humanoid entities into the conversation, and how do we interact with those? And so I think this human to human has been a thing, but there really is a way to do human to machine, I think, a lot better. And I think that's this new part that's coming into play. And how do we do that? And how do we adopt that? And how do we overcome the uncanny valley of talking to a machine or a robot and having a human-like conversation with it? And so that's what we've been working towards, is what does that look like? How do we get humans to adopt that and accept that? And I think that's the next evolution, right? And it's not better or worse; it's just different. And I think that's what we're trying to explore.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about that side of things. About the human to bot collaborate, and bot may not be the right term, but that the communication between, because we use AI every day, and we're not using it on the level that you guys are doing right now. But in our business, we're using Perplexity and ChatGPT and Claude and things like that. And what I have learned is, with my own use of it, is the more I teach it about what I do and who I am, the better it communicates with me. So it's all about the prompt, I guess, for me at this point. But I feel like what you guys are doing is more than just prompt, right? It's back and forth communication. Talk to me about the evolution of that and how you guys have put that together and what that looks like with Neato.
Yeah, it's funny. The word bot in our offices is kind of a swear word because when we think of bots, we think of kind of dumb objects that can,
Right.
they can answer questions and respond.
Yeah.
They can respond to input, but that's it. What we're really trying to build is agents that actually have agency, can not only communicate proactively and reactively, but then also go and make decisions and drive business process. And that's a very different way of doing it. Like, asking a question, getting an answer is one thing, but asking a question, getting an answer, determining what the answer really means, and then driving a function in the background to deliver a result is really where we're trying to get to. And so we've been able to develop these agentic AI agents that not only listen and give you an answer, but then make a determination, make a decision, and then drive a process, whether that's saying, hey, you're qualified to take my, you're qualified, we'll sign your case. Here's the
Right.
representation. Do you have any questions? Right. Or whether it's, oh, wait, I can't do that. I need a human, and transferring to the human, knowing the AI is outside of its steps and actually making a determination that I need help. So, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I like that step where having the AI basically say, I'm not the right person for you to be talking to.
Right.
You need, I'm going to connect you with somebody who can, which we do
Yeah.
as humans every day. I can do that
It's
all
a
the
key.
time.
It's a key part of intelligence, right? Is actually having the emotional intelligence to know, wait, I don't know that thing. I need to get help, and feeling comfortable asking. I think we saw a lot of early agents. We heard stories of airlines making up policies and giving away free airline tickets, or car dealerships giving away free trucks because the AI didn't know when it was out of its depth. These things really happened. And so
Wow.
we've worked really hard to make the AI understand itself enough to know, hey, I can't do this. I need to get help, which is a very important part of intelligence.
For sure. Speaking of intelligence, I want to talk about collective intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a powerful phrase. I want to know how you define it, and I want to know how it differs from what we think of as like traditional teamwork.
Yeah, well, we came out of we came up with collective intelligence almost as a pushback on the artificial intelligence craze, because we use artificial intelligence as this catch-all, and it means so many different things. Like you say, I have an artificial intelligence company. That could mean so many things. I mean, we have
Right.
artificial intelligence robots that are launching missiles, and then we've got artificial intelligence that are helping law firms draft legal briefs. They're very different, but they're all artificial intelligence. So we coined this term collective intelligence, which the idea behind it was, what if we could take the best parts of humanity and the best parts of the artificial intelligence and put them together and make something new. So remove all of the judgment and bad stuff, laziness that humans bring, but bring all the empathy and compassion and understanding, and then pair it with the persistency, consistency, and predictability of AI, and put it together. That's where it came
Love it.
from.
So,
Yeah.
and it's Nido.ci. Is that the CI in your website in the web
It
address? Is
is.
that what the
Yeah,
CI
yeah.
stands for? Okay,
CI
cool. I
actually stands
figured.
for stands for Canary Islands, but it was just a happy accident that we were able to get that. So
I
yeah,
love it. I just made the
yeah,
when you said CI, you said AI, and
yeah,
you don't want to call AI CI is a better way
yeah,
to put it. And I was like, oh, okay, that's where the website comes. I didn't even think
yeah,
about Canary Island. That's really
yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Um, okay, so let's talk about the thing that that you hear a lot of people. I'm not one of these people, but there are a lot of people who have a negative thoughts, who have negative, but they put negativity around this changing world.
Hmm.
And a lot of people say they worry, and you've mentioned this a little bit already, but a lot of people worry that technology is going to replace human creativity.
Hmm.
Tell me how Nito enhances rather than replaces human collaboration.
Yeah, I think there's two things there. You said, like, the first one is the creativity. I actually think that AI allows for more space for human creativity. It takes the things that humans don't need to do and allows them to do what they need to do. I was actually at a conference last week, and I think it was Alex Spiro said that, like, AI actually allows you to think more. It gives you more space to think
It frees
about
you up.
whatever it is. Yeah, your art, your case, whatever. It frees you up to think and meditate. Menial, mundane, repetitive tasks are handled by a robot. That's the beautiful thing. On the collaboration side, I think it's interesting because people are concerned that AI is going to, remove human to human contact. But I think we're actually seeing a world where AI is enhancing it, because it actually allows you to practice your human to human contact in a non confrontational way. We're seeing therapy AIs come up, and we're seeing, like personal support AIs, and it allows you to talk and actually almost journal your feelings with feedback, which then allows you to go communicate your feelings in a more fluid way, or a more eloquent way to a human, right? So I actually think it enables practice in that way. So I think it has the opportunity to enhance collaboration, not hurt it.
I agree. I find that using these tools, and I think they're tools, that they're not barriers, or tools that I have found that I have way more time for, like conversations like you and I are having right now, real human to human conversations, just ideating and talking about things, rather than handling those, day to day. I got so much work to do. I don't have time for this meeting. Meetings aren't so much of a drag anymore, because so much stuff is being taken care of. The meetings are really more productive because you're not having to worry about as much of that stuff. So I'm right on board with that, man. I love that aspect of the change and the shift that we've seen. And I guess we've seen it really in the last, 2 years. Maybe that's been the case for most people. I'm sure other people have been using it longer than that, but the last 2 years have really just been a complete and total shift for us. And I guess that's the case across the board. So yeah, I'm right on board with that 100%. Can you give me, can you share with me any stories or examples of actual companies that have used Neato and that have used it to transform how they're communicating, how they're making decisions, how they're ideating? Do you have any stories you can share with me?
Yeah, a lot of stories. I think one of my favorite ones is, I think that there's a couple of currencies in the world today, and one of those is availability. Like, people want you to be available 24/7, which is unrealistic, but people are used to getting, instant approval for their credit card, instant access to food, and they want availability. And so the AI is really helping companies of any size, right? Whether it's the single practitioner law firm or the big mega law firm, have access to a full staffed contact center, call center, people to answer the phone consistently. But I think the thing that really is interesting to me is, we had back in the early days, it was actually before we were doing voice AI and we were just doing text, because the voice wasn't quite ready yet, wasn't up to speed. We had this, it was a mortgage company. We were selling, helping a company find mortgage clients. And this little old lady, she was just lonely. She wanted somebody to talk to. And so the AI reached out to her. She goes, "I'm not interested in a mortgage right now. I'm happy with my mortgage." She goes, and the AI said something like, "Well, have a great weekend." And she said, "Yeah, I'm going to hang out with my cat this weekend." AI picked up on that. It had empathy. It understood her. And so for the next 2 months, the AI every couple of days would reach out to this lady and ask how she was doing and talk about her cat. 2 months later, the lady responded and said, "Hey, I wasn't planning on getting a new mortgage, but you seem really trustworthy, and I appreciate just the time and the care you've taken to talk to me. Let's set up a call." And she refinanced her house. Now, the story really isn't about refinancing your house. The story is about this lady needing somebody to be available to just talk to her and be persistent and pleasant and make her feel heard and important. And AI has time to do that, and humans don't. And so I think that's one of the transformational things that's going to happen, is we think AI is going to replace or offset human collaboration, but in a lot of ways, I think it's really going to help companies make their customers feel heard and connected and engaged in a more consistent, persistent way than we can do currently, because we just don't have time as humans. We're busy people, right? And so I think there's this thing that people are just missing, and that is this just constant engagement and connection with your customers, and they feel heard. And AI can do it. AI can actually make you feel heard.
Did she know that she was talking to
she didn't
AI?
She did not. No, so, she didn't. She never asked. If she had asked, the AI would have said, but she never asked, because the AI provided something that she was looking for, so it was irrelevant, right?
So let me just play devil's advocate for a minute. I'm not saying that I think this, but is there a responsibility for to let the person know, like, that they're not dealing with an actual human being, or not? I'm just curious.
No, I think there is at a certain level, and we, again, gone through an evolution over the 3 years of where we've been at that. Originally we would let companies not disclose it. Now we don't give anybody the option. If somebody asks if it's AI, we believe it's deceptive. So we just won't let you do it. Like but I think there's cases like, yes, if the person's asking for legal advice, obviously saying I'm not an attorney, I can't give you legal advice, I'm an AI, that's important, right? Or financial advice. So I think there's certain situations where disclosure is super important. The question is disclosure up front at the beginning of a conversation is important, or does it just need to be disclosed if they ask? And I think that's the tension we're facing right now. And I think there's not a right or wrong answer. It's really situational. And I think that's where we're at.
Yeah. I agree with you. I was just kind of curious on that because, it's an awesome story, and I'm happy that lady had that outreach. She had. I think that's really cool. And there was no deception there. He wasn't trying to sell her anything. So it's just that. But so did the AI do that on its own, or was it like programmed to do that, or was it just
the AI was told to be empathetic and compassionate, and that's what it decided to do. It found out the lady liked her cat.
Once a week, it was told.
It was told to follow up with her, but but the AI creates its own follow-ups, and so it knew that her cat was important, so it would check in with her on her cat.
That's amazing.
That's what it did. Yeah. So
wild, very cool. I think that's cool. I dig it. I'm into it. That's amazing. That's an amazing story. So just call her every 3-4 days and just check in on her.
Yeah.
I mean, that goes, a big part of what we preach in our business as far as sales go is that the sales are in the follow-up. And in the relationship that you build with the person that you're talking to, not necessarily in like just pitching, but just in building a relationship and providing value and in that case, providing empathy. So, that's amazing. What a wild story. I love that. Very, very cool. So let's talk a little bit about mindset shift, David. So for leaders and business owners that are trying to adopt this collective intelligence approach, and I love that terminology as over AI, CI, much better. What's the mindset shift that they need to make first if they're wanting to kind of make a move into this area?
Well, I think that the mindset shift that has to happen is I think everybody's really fixated on creating a human experience, like replicating the human experience. And I actually think that that's a mistake. Like that in the early days of AI, we would see like almost human looking people that were AI, like the humanoids, the fake AI influencers. And I think that that's really not where we should be going. I think we should be going, how does this achieve a better experience than human? What are things that AI can do better than a human can? And why don't we start applying that instead of trying to make it human, make it better? So when I say better, I mean, like we talked about collective, it has the empathy, it has the compassion, it can understand, even though it can't really understand feelings, it can interpret feelings so that it can provide a feedback that feels good to the human on the other end.
Right.
But in the case of sales, and like, let's talk intake, right? For a law firm, it's more persistent. Like we talk about pleasant persistence all the time. You close a sale because you're persistent. Most salespeople give up after 1 or 2 times, the good ones at 6, and most deals close 6 to 12. In fact, we're seeing like deals close at 30 to 40 connections.
The number
it's crazy.
We hit 17 as our magic number.
yeah, it's crazy, but that's where AI is better. It's pleasantly persistent. It does, if it's going to try to call, it's going to keep doing it over and over and over until you tell it to stop, and it doesn't miss an appointment. It doesn't miss a task. The other thing that we're seeing with the collective intelligence, I think that delivers better than a human is humans tend to, they come in in the morning, they do the same thing every day, they do their routine, whereas the AI is starting to figure out and track. It has the ability to track patterns. Like, hey, I called this person at 9 4 days in a row and they didn't answer. Maybe they're not available at 9. I'm going to start trying at 12 and 4 and 7. And so the AI is able to start doing analyzation that humans just don't do that.
Right.
Most humans don't do that quickly, right? So when I talk about the adoption of this and the collective intelligence, stop trying to make it a replicate of a human. Think differently. How can it be better, different, and accomplish a task in a new way that still is human enough that it feels comfortable, but is actually better? And that's what we're seeing. We're actually seeing people get outside of that box that they're constrained in. Like, this needs to sound, look, talk like a human. No, it needs to do it, but it can do it differently.
Yeah. Love that. You mentioned voice call earlier. Like you guys have got a voice call set up. And I know there's some other businesses, some other companies that are working on that as well. And it's amazing the leaps that have been made where you feel like, just like the woman who had the getting calls about her cat. Do you think we're going to get to the point where we have, a Zoom call with a CI that's see, I'm using CI, I'm not saying AI.
Okay.
That's that's on a video call. Are we headed that direction? Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think that's a leap that we won't take?
I don't know. I would ask what would be the benefit of it, right? And
Right.
so I kind of think we need to talk on the phone or we need to text, like we need a way to communicate. But like I want to talk to you because when it's human to human, your facial expressions, they tell me a lot. If that's phony, does it really help the conversation to see that, I don't know. So I always go back to the thing of what are we gaining by doing this, or what are we trying to accomplish over this medium, right? Like I don't think the world is ready to have a real conversation with a video humanoid robot. For a while, text message was great, and then now voice is great. I think eventually we'll get to the video part, but I think there's a lack of actual emotional connection with a video that's not a real human. And you expect, like I have that expectation of our conversation right now. I expect you to give me some sort of emotional feedback or connection, right?
And body language, right? Authentic body language you can read out. Yeah.
Exactly. So if the AI isn't doing that and I expect it, is it going to be a good conversation? Like that's the most important thing with collective intelligence, artificial intelligence, is you need a reasonable expectation of what the conversation is going to deliver. And that's where I think there could be a miss in the video world right now.
Well, I feel like, with all the different aspects of AI that we see, and we see AI stuff on social media all day long, and the visual stuff is the stuff that I have the hardest time really connecting with, because it's just, it's so obvious and that it's not what it is pretending to be. So I think you're right on with that answer. That makes perfect sense. So we got remote work, we got hybrid models, we got AI driven tools that are reshaping things, how we work. Where do you see collaboration heading in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think collaboration gets better. And I think we go back to the point we talked about a couple minutes ago. We give humans more time to actually connect and dream and think and process. And we let the menial tasks, the regular phone call check-ins, the answering calls, the doing things that we just don't need to do. And so I think collaboration, creativity, all of that gets better if we truly use AI in the proper way. We just need to make sure that we steer this movement in the right direction, which is not doing the things that humans need to do with the things that humans don't need to do. And I think there's going to be a tension in that for a while, but I think that's the important thing for collaboration.
What is the tension that you see that we're going to have for a while? Is it just people worried about, or certain jobs they're going to go away? They're not going to be needed anymore. We're going to need people to do them anymore. Is that part of the tension that you see, where people are kind of like, what am I going to be doing in 5 years from now if my job's gone?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a shift, just like there has been at every major technology intersection that we've come through, right? It was funny. I've been saying it for a while. Sometimes you feel like you have an idea, and then somebody more famous than you steals your idea. So this last week, I've been saying for a while that I think that the AI revolution is actually going to make a push back to like people working with their hands and doing trades, like electricians and plumbers and artists, because AI can't do that stuff for the most part. And the CEO of NVIDIA just came out this last week with a big article about how he thinks that AI is going to have a push back to lower skilled knowledge workers actually moving into higher skilled trades, which actually pay better. So it might be better for everybody. So I think there's going to be a shift back to some of these things. Ultimately, I actually think it helps America too, because I think we see more jobs come back into the American market, maybe, factory jobs and manufacturing jobs and things that I think help the economy. So I think in the short term, there'll be some tension and a reset, but I think overall it actually makes us better and stronger as a society.
I 100% agree with you. I've had this conversation. My background is in live theater. Like I'm an actor, and I've worked in live theater and in production as well. And my wife is a college theater professor, and her students come in and they're all worried, like, our AI actor is going to take our place, and I'm like, that's never going to happen. And I think if anything, as AI film or television kind of gets better and better, and it's going to get better, I think there's going to be a premium on live theater, live performance, because it's that human to human connection that people are going to crave. So I told my wife, and I've told other younger performers, like, you got to just ride it out, and your time's going to come, because people are going to shift back to wanting that connection. And I think it applies, like you're saying, with trades and everything. So I'm right on board with that, man. I believe that fully, that it's going to end up being better for all of us in the long run. So that's where my head is at too. David, last question for you. If you had to sum it up, what is the one thing that humans will always do better than machines when it comes to collaboration?
Oh boy, that is a tough question, because I don't think we've even seen I don't even think we're hardly at the beginning of what machines are going to be able to do.
Sure.
But I think that there is a real emotional connection that happens when you're in a room with a bunch of really creative people coming up with really great ideas. There's a magic that happens. There's
electricity, right?
I'm a musician, right? That was actually what I studied in college, was music. When you're on stage with a band and then you get into the moment and things like that's the thing. What happens sometimes in an office when you create a great product, right? You're in with your people and you're in a room and you just the magic starts to happen. I don't know that AI will ever be able to recreate that.
Like that flow state,
that
AI
flow state. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. The flow state. That's a great way of putting it. Yeah, I don't know that AI has a flow state. I think it's predictive. It's predicting. It's not creating, right? And so I think that's if that ever does happen, I think it's a long way off, because there's something special that happens when a bunch of really smart humans, creative humans, get in a room and start working together and connecting on an unspoken, unsaid level. It just kind of happens. It's magic. And I don't know how you explain it, but I don't know that AI is ever going to do that.
Yeah, I agree. The flow state is a powerful thing. Regardless of what you're working in, whether it's a creative side or whether you're working on a physical product or whatever it is, there's no better feeling than that too when you do get in that flow state. You're like, man, it's magic. Like you said, this is magic happening right now. And it's really, and you don't want to get out of that. You don't want to leave it. So I'm right on board with you, man. You said you studied music in college. What do you play?
A little bit of everything. My main is piano and voice. So those are my two.
You're a singer.
Yeah, I was in my past life. I still do sometimes, but not as much as I used to.
What do you sing? You a tenor? You a bass, baritone?
I'm a tenor. Yeah,
okay.
For a musical theater guy, I'm a lyric tenor. So yeah, that's my. I'm not a super high guy, but I'm kind of in the middle. Yeah.
That's where I'm at too, man. I'm in that same vein. I haven't done a musical in a long time, but
that's me neither. It's been since college, so
yeah. Very cool, David, man. I've really enjoyed this conversation so much. I could talk to you for an hour. But I know you're at your conference. I don't want to keep you too long, but I do appreciate you giving me some time today. We got lots of business owners, law firm owners, entrepreneurs that check out the show. Let people know how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you, how they can find Nito.
Yeah, just shoot me an email. It's really easy, david@nito.ci, or visit us. Our legal specific website is nito.legal. You can go on there, get a demo of our voice AI, see how it works for you. But it's doing really well.
Oh, and just to make sure people know, it's NETO, Nito.
NETO.ci, yeah.
Yeah, good deal, man. David, this has been great, man. I really appreciate the time. Those of you who are watching our live stream out there, we appreciate you guys tuning in. And if you're watching the recorded version, or you're listening on Apple or Spotify after the fact, we appreciate you guys as well. We love the likes and the stars and the thumbs and all that good stuff. So make sure you leave those for us. Leave us a comment, give us a follow. All that stuff helps to get the word out about what our guests have going on to more people. So we appreciate you guys doing that. And I'll be back tomorrow with more episodes of Partnership for Profits. David, again, thank you, man. This has been an awesome combo.
Thank you.
And I can't wait to see what you guys have got going on next, man. Sounds like there's a lot of cool stuff coming down the pipe.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, very good. Thank you so much for you. It's great to be on today.
You got it. We'll talk soon. And those of you watching, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night, and we'll see you next time on Partnership for Profits.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of Partnerships for Profit. We hope you've gained valuable insights on how to form profitable partnerships and take your business to the next level. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review wherever you listen to podcasts so you never miss an episode. Got a partnership story to share or someone you'd like to see featured on the show? Reach out to us. Until next time, keep building those partnerships for profit.